Were you like me? Were you tired of wasting your very important Artian weapon pieces trying to craft that paralysis sword and shield with 4 attack ups and an extra affinity with a sharpness bonus? Or a long sword or a great sword, going to Gemma over and over and over only to see, well, absolute garbage?
Yeah, boy.
Well, hey, then I have the exact video for you. And here's the secret. When you craft an Artian weapon, the rolls on the weapon are predetermined as you craft it. And this forbidden knowledge is that the game has a predetermined list and order of what the attribute increases will be when you craft an element or status Artian weapon. So what's the best way for us to take advantage of this? The first step is that you're gonna need to be able to upgrade about 4 or 5 or so Artian weapons so you can sort of see exactly which way these weapons are going to roll. Meaning that you should probably just head on over to the oil well basin and go to the NPC here and craft a bunch of different ore so you can have about 250 to 300 ore so you can fully upgrade about 5 or so Artian weapons of your choice. Whatever monster parts you decide to use is up to you. I like to use endgame ones like Arcveld, etc. because they're very easy to get access to and farm up, and they're worth quite a few amount of points. So once you're ready to rock and roll, just head on over to Gemma here and we're going to be crafting some Artian weapons. Now what we're going to be doing here is you're going to be specifically targeting the weapon type that you want. Each of the weapons that you have access to in Monster Hunter Wilds, whether it be longsword, dual blades, hunting horn for Artian weapons, each weapon has its own set predetermined list order for attributes that you're going to be upgrading. So pick a weapon type that you want to craft an Artian weapon for and stick to that weapon. So once you've picked the weapon type that you want to be crafting your perfect Artian weapon for, we're going to be making 3 to 5 Artian weapons. You're going to have all of the materials set aside already because you did step 1, right? What we're going to be doing here is using our quote unquote garbage pieces of Artian weapon materials to create these weapons. You want to make sure that it's going to be an elemental weapon of some kind. Don't use 3 different kinds of Artian weapon materials and craft a raw weapon. Make sure that you use at least 2 of a kind so you end up with a fire or a water or an ice or a thunder or a dragon Artian weapon. And as you craft and upgrade these Artian weapons, either take a mental note of which order you crafted them and which number that Artian weapon was, if it does in fact have the attribute table that you want to gain access to. Because the next step is, after you found the Artian weapon that you want, you're going to need to hit the menu, go to return to the main menu, and do not save the game. This is very important because if you do save the game, then, well, those Artian weapons that you just crafted are going to be saved to your account. And the reason we don't want to save the game is that we want to maintain our Artian weapon materials, but most importantly, we want to maintain that attribute table in the order that we just saw. And this is going to allow us to reload our save file and then craft the appropriate Artian weapon of the type that you want in that specific slot. For example, if the 4th weapon that you crafted with your garbage Artian parts ends up having that 4 attack, 1 sharpness increase, then what you'll do is you'll come back into the game after reloading your save file, craft 3 garbage Artian weapons using your different elemental parts, but then on that 4th one, which will be the one that has the attribute table that you want, you can go ahead and use your attack and fusion Artian weapon parts on your paralysis pieces or blast pieces or poison pieces or whichever different pieces that you want to have for your perfect Artian weapon of choice. And as you're still crafting that weapon in the same slot, you're going to have the attribute table of the slot that we just looked at. But what do you do if you crafted your 4 or 5 or so Artian weapons and none of them have the attributes that you are looking for? Well, this one's going to be very simple for you, as those tables for the attribute upgrades were absolute garbage. What you want to do is simply just dismantle all of those Artian pieces. Because none of them had anything that you wanted, you want to progress on the table, so just simply save your game and start repeating this process until you find an Artian weapon attribute table that you want to use on your perfect Artian weapon. And if you're wondering if the reinforcement bonus table was what was saved in order, no, you cannot like min-max by upgrading a weapon 4 times, saving the 5th boost from the reinforcement table and trying to pass it over onto another weapon. All of the reinforcement bonuses are known when the weapon is crafted, not when the bonus is unlocked. As you can see here, I tried to do 4 levels in this first longsword so it would get attack, sharpness, and tried to pass the 5th attack bonus as the first unlock to this one, so it would be 4 attacks and 1 affinity boost. That's not going to work that way. And for a quick TLDR on the complete method, in case you really want to get this drilled into your head, I know you do. Listen, here it is. Craft as many Artian weapons as you want. I like to do 3 to 5 to keep it simple. Use your garbage Artian pieces for these weapons, upgrade them fully so you can see what their attribute affix upgrades are. If you find one that you want to keep, take note of what number in the order of the weapons that you crafted had the affixes that you want on your perfect Artian weapon. Hit return to title screen, do not save the game, come back in, return to Gemma, and then craft more Artian weapons. However, this time, craft the Artian weapon type that has the status that you want in the slot that had the good attributes that you noted previously. If you craft your Artian weapons, whether it be 3, 1, 0, or 5 Artian weapons, none of them had the attributes that you want, then you can dismantle all of them and then save the game. And this will allow you to progress through different attribute reinforcement upgrades than you were previously. And then you'll just repeat this until you gain access to an attribute upgrade reinforcement table that you want for an Artian weapon of your choice. This can get pretty expensive, so this is going to be where we're going to be dropping a lot of our Zenny in Monster Hunter Wilds, and you are going to need to have, well, 300 or so different ores so you can reinforce your Artian weapons. This method still is going to be a little bit RNG as crafting Artian weapons .R. However, what this method does do is it allows you to utilize these garbage sort of elemental affinity production bonus Artian weapon pieces without wasting every single paralysis and poison and blast attack infusion Artian piece. For example, right now, if I wanted to craft another longsword, I have this one saved and I'll show you right now. Let's just go to Forge Artian Weapon Longsword, and this should be, I think, attack, sharpness. So let's say that I one day get the paralysis attack ups that I need. I need to go farm some more monsters, but for right now, let's just imagine that all of these paralysis were attack infusions instead of affinity infusions, and we'll just throw this in here. And since I haven't forged another Artian weapon since I saved this to my list, basically, I'll go in here, I'll forge this up, and this should be triple attack, double sharpness, bam, bop, boom, attack, sharpness. So what you can do is in your spare time as well, if you're looking forwards to eventually crafting an Artian weapon of your choice, you can, in your spare time, right, produce some garbage Artian weapons and work your way down through the different reinforcement bonus list tables until you gain access to the one that you desire. You can save that by never crafting an Artian weapon again until you have the different Artian weapon pieces of the production bonus values of your choice. So yeah, that's going to be that. I'm currently upgrading this computer for Monster Hunter Wilds content. And if you were wondering how I got this dog water PC with a GT, not even 1080 Ti, base 1080 to play this game upwards to around HR 200, that's going to be a video coming out soon as well. If you want to see more Monster Hunter Wilds content on this channel, well, you know what to do. Leave a like for the algorithm overlords over at YouTube who absolutely hate my guts, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.